I just want to take a moment to encourage all fish keepers that love the hobby to really do your best to try and support your local wet or live fish aquarium store, because due to the advent of online and price-driven competition, aquarium stores in general are dying. When I was a kid, I could get on my bike and ride to 6 different aquarium shops. Now I can't even find 6 aquarium shops. And the problem is, it is the aquarium shops that start the customers. It is the aquarium shops that keep the customers. It is the aquarium shops that build the industry. And the onliners, in a way, parasite it. Because I was privileged enough to sit down and get to read the Master Pet study, which was commissioned, and it basically went through why would someone consider getting an aquarium. And there's all these different percentages. 3% went to the coral reef, X amount saw their friend's aquarium, X amount saw Nemo on TV, whatever it is that inspired them to think about getting one. Then they looked at what made them actually get one. Now, they found that a huge percentage, like 80% of people that actually buy their first aquarium are standing in an aquarium shop looking at an aquarium that they can imagine in their home. Then they looked at why would someone consider getting rid of the tank, and there was all these different percentages for why they'd think about getting rid of it. The kids have moved out, they want to travel more, they're over the fish died, whatever it is. But overwhelmingly, then the next thing they looked at is why did they get rid of it? And basically, overwhelmingly, something like 80% or something was they got rid of it because they lost their fish, and then they couldn't go somewhere that could tell them what happened and how to ensure it would not happen again. So it is absolutely clear that people decide to buy an aquarium when they're standing in an aquarium shop, and people decide to keep their aquarium anytime something goes wrong if they can come somewhere like Majestic Aquariums and the person can say, hey, look, this is what you did wrong, don't do it again, and your fish will be fine. If they lose their fish and they have to go researching and they're not real confident of why they lost them, that's a very significant reason why they would close their aquarium down. The next thing Master Pet did was study 2 different independent areas with both similar socioeconomic outlook, and both had access to the internet, and both had large box pet stores. And they found that the area with a good aquarium store, up to 17% of their population was keeping fish. Then in the area without a good aquarium store, they found that as low as 2% of their population is keeping fish. So according to the only study that I have available to me, the aquarium shops are what builds the aquarium industry. Now, as a fish keeper, you think, well, what do I care about the aquarium industry? But I think there's a lot to care about with the aquarium industry, because if we have good retail shops, we're increasing demand, we're increasing research and development, we're increasing the likelihood of new products and new breakthroughs and new species, and it really is a beautiful and amazing hobby. But the more vibrant the actual hobby is, the more exciting the hobby can become, and the more successful the hobby can become long term. So I just want you to remember that every time you make a purchase with your aquarium, that if you want to support this hobby and you want to move this hobby forward and you want to see 17% of the population keeping fish, then really try to spend your money with a proper aquarium shop. Try not to try to resist the temptation to save a few bucks and buy it cheaper online. If you're buying online from a aquarium shop, a proper aquarium shop, then go for it. But if it's an online store only, the chances are that that guy is an electrician or a plumber or a builder, and he's just selling a few fish stuff on the side for something to do. That is parasiting our hobby. It is not growing our hobby. Buy from professionals. Look after professionals, because if anything goes wrong with your tank, it is the professionals that you'll turn to. So we really want to use your dollars, use the way you buy to try to support the hobby. Because as a kid, walking into an aquarium shop and seeing beautiful display fish, beautiful display tanks, is one of the absolute joys I have in my life. And to think about the future of the aquarium industry, where there's hardly any aquariums available anymore for the kids to come and see, is just an absolute travesty. And the kids have got their heads stuck in iPads and playing Pokemons and all this other antisocial activity. Whereas if we can encourage our kids to keep fish, keeping fish teaches them about life. It teaches them responsibility. It really is an absolutely wonderful family hobby. I've really seen this hobby also bring families together. I've seen fathers and sons that don't get along. They buy an aquarium together because it's a common interest, and next thing you know, they're buddies because they have something in common, something that's beautiful and healthy that they can share together and learn together. It teaches the kids about basic sciences, basic biology, but most of all, basic responsibility. So I'm asking everyone to really consider their dollars, consider where they spend their money, consider where you spend your money, and try to spend your money on the shops that are displaying properly and growing this hobby and offering beautiful, healthy displays with good, solid advice.